Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Dealing with narcissistic parents at a young age can be challenging, and there isn't a whole lot you can do about it as you hold very little authority. The challenge further intensifies in adulthood when you now hold the power to take action, and yet you still don't know how to deal with the selfish people who raised you. Adult children of narcissistic parents often find themselves emotionally enmeshed with the narcissistic parent to such an extent that breaking free and achieving emotional independence seems like an insurmountable challenge. Growing up under the influence of narcissistic parents can cast a long shadow, leaving adult children grappling with the aftermath of emotional manipulation, control, and the relentless pursuit of perfection. Yet, amidst the echoes of a challenging past, there is hope and the possibility of reclaiming personal power. In this video, we'll discuss strategies for adult children of narcissistic parents to break free from the chains of manipulation and to reclaim their power and attain freedom from their influence, and build a life anchored in self-discovery and resilience. So, let's get started. First and foremost, I want to delve into a recurring sentiment often expressed by victims of narcissistic abuse, who state that their parents instill feelings of guilt in them, their spouse makes them feel worthless and unimportant, their friends make them feel ashamed, and their sister fosters a sense of inadequacy in them, portraying them as lazy. Now, individuals who elicit negative emotions in me is what I want to talk about today. Narcissists exhibit a remarkable skill in honing in on individuals susceptible to experiencing specific emotions. This ability could stem from either the narcissist's inherent skills or their upbringing, where they were conditioned to elicit particular emotional responses in their targets. Yet, it's also crucial to understand that narcissists typically avoid individuals who possess a high level of self-differentiation. Self-differentiation means having the ability to maintain your autonomy and identity while fostering healthy connections with others, without becoming overly enmeshed or influenced by external expectations or letting them control you. Narcissists don't mess with people who are self-differentiated, as they can't cope with them. Growing into self-differentiation is a journey which involves recognizing that external forces, including narcissists, do not possess the power to make you feel a certain way. Instead, these emotions are a matter of personal choice. The narcissist only serves as a trigger or catalyst for the choices we make regarding our emotional responses. Clearly, narcissists are the instigators and are causing it, but remember there's also a part of me contributing to it. It's important to acknowledge that within that dynamic, there exists a version of myself contributing to those emotional responses. Our objective is to create distance between ourselves and the narcissist, breaking free from these emotional entanglements. The greater the emotional enmeshment, the more we tend to attribute our feelings and thoughts to the influence of the other person. If individuals in your life consistently evoke sentiments like guilt, inadequacy, or worthlessness, it signals a level of enmeshment. Establishing emotional separation is essential in such situations, allowing for more clarity and independence in our emotional responses. The more we can reframe our perspective and initiate a detachment from individuals with whom we are emotionally entangled, the better. To facilitate emotional freedom and encourage detachment from narcissistic family members, I employ a series of questions designed for this purpose. For instance, I pose questions like, what potential drawbacks or difficulties could arise if I changed for the better? Subsequently, we delve into addressing the identified challenges, which may involve healing childhood fears, guilt, sadness, or the loss of idealized dreams, such as the vision of a perfect fantasized parent or the loving parent we always yearned for. Often, pursuing our mature desires comes with associated challenges that resonate with our inner child, leaving the inner child disappointed. By addressing these challenges, we can initiate healing, fostering a harmonious collaboration between our inner child and our adult self. This integrated approach brings about a distinct and more fulfilling experience. For instance, consider another scenario. Say, if I were to break the tradition of inviting my mother to dinner every Sunday, as she always expects, the potential outcome might seem dreadful. However, I apply a simple question: what's the worst that could happen? Similarly, when faced with the expectation of calling my father every day to avoid his disapproval, I pose the same question: what's the worst that could happen? It's crucial to incorporate the phrase, "what's the worst that could happen?" into our thinking process. Looking at the worst-case scenario, we see that everyone involved would still survive. The celestial bodies would still maintain their orbits. The sun will rise as usual, and eventually they might actually begin overtime to get used to a new you. And in fact, that's what I believe actually happens. Consider this: have you ever entertained the idea of embodying what you fear? If you're apprehensive about being perceived as the disappointing daughter, the inadequate son, or the flawed parent, then embrace that role. I can assure you that despite your fears, the world will still persist in its rotation, the sun will faithfully rise each day, and life will continue much as it did before. A powerful strategy for coping with the internal dialogue of being an awful child or a disappointing son is to deliberately assume that role, fully accepting it until it becomes neutralized. By doing so, the perceived negativity loses its significance, and the associated fears lose their grip. Ask yourself, so what if I'm labeled a bad son? Recognizing and accepting this fear can break the unconscious and neurotic connection to the perpetual anxiety about being perceived as a disappointment. By wholeheartedly accepting and embracing that identity, I typically find it easier to release its hold on me. I encourage others to take a similar approach and decide for themselves how they want to interpret or handle it. When I'm content with being perceived as a subpar son, for instance, it disarms any power that others might think they have over me. If someone insists, "You need to stop being that way," my response is a simple acknowledgement: how can I stop, because this is who I am? Well, I suppose you'll just have to deal with the genuine version of me. Deep down, upon reflection, I've come to realize that this authentic self isn't all that bad, really. So, what steps can you take to reclaim your control and cease surrendering it to the narcissist? First and foremost, avoid letting your emotions dictate your actions. While emotions hold significance for healing, both personally and professionally, and are integral to living a fulfilling life. But fixating on emotions becomes problematic when navigating enmeshed or narcissistic relationships. The majority of the emotions you experience in response to interactions with a narcissist are, in essence, false or what I term as enmeshed structure feelings. These emotions aren't authentic, rather, they stem from the dynamics of the enmeshed relationship structure. They're not genuinely reflective of your true feelings, but are instead reactions activated within you to maintain a subservient and enmeshed connection with the narcissist. These feelings are designed to keep you tethered to the narcissist, whether in an entangled or detached manner, yet they don't represent your genuine emotions. For instance, when thinking of mom and dad, we automatically view them as flawless parents who can do no wrong. However, if we remove the label of parent and perceive them as ordinary individuals, we can begin to see the reality of the relationship and not be as emotionally affected by it. Secondly, employ specific questions to examine the emotions you are experiencing. Ask yourself whether your feelings are genuinely authentic or if they align with an appropriate response for an adult in that situation. For instance, consider a scenario where you decide not to attend a family gathering for the week and find yourself overwhelmed with intense guilt. In such cases, the feeling of guilt is likely false and is generated by the dynamics of your familial relationships. As a mature adult, there's no inherent need to feel guilty about making choices aligned with your preferences, whether they pertain to family matters or other aspects of life. The sense of guilt may arise from concerns about what your family will think, but these emotions are deceptive. They don't represent your true feelings, but rather stem from the established interactional patterns within your family. Remember, as an adult, you have your own life and are not bound by their rules. To foster a healthy relationship with your parents, it's crucial to recognize and address any instances of them crossing boundaries. The goal is to break free from codependency in relationships with narcissistic parents. If you've asserted yourself and expressed your feelings, it's probable that your parents may not be ready for this change, even in your adulthood. This is an unforeseen response from you. But always bear in mind that true love involves providing care and unconditional support, not allowing someone to undermine you. While we all desire love, especially from our parents, supporting their misguided actions and attitudes often leads to compromising our feelings, needs, and boundaries. Thirdly, strive to establish your own safety and security through your personal endeavors and by cultivating friendships of your own choice. If you find yourself financially reliant on a narcissist, make concerted efforts to break that financial dependency. In cases where you feel isolated, especially if your primary social ties are with unhealthy family members, take steps to diversify your social network. This may involve forming connections with support groups, in-laws, and cultivating healthy friendships or even considering changes in social circles or religious communities. The goal is to create a support network that extends beyond reliance on unhealthy family dynamics. Fourthly, when you find negative thoughts continuously replaying in your mind, such as the belief that your actions might trigger your mother to have a stroke, or that you've always been perceived as the erratic one, or that everyone in the family thinks you're wrong, or you're accused of being selfish or psycho, it's crucial to address these internal narratives, especially if you've grown up in an unhealthy family environment. Interrupt the repetitive negative thoughts. While this is admittedly challenging, it's essential to actively resist these harmful mental scripts. Seek a reality check from positive sources, such as supportive friends, groups, coaches, therapists, or other helping professionals who can provide a more balanced and objective perspective. Fifthly, assess whether you are experiencing depression, as depression often leads to a continuous replay of negative thoughts. Depression is known for its depressogenic thinking, characterized by persistent negative thoughts that are challenging to overcome. Sixth, commence a lifestyle that refrains from seeking love and approval, especially from your family and the narcissist. This involves cultivating independence and reducing reliance on external validation for your sense of self-worth. Take a gradual approach, recognizing that transforming oneself within a relationship requires emotional resilience and the capacity to withstand periods without seeking love and approval from others. This is crucial because many of us have developed a dependency on seeking affection and validation, even if it has been elusive. The addiction to this desire for love and approval, even in its pseudo form occasionally, can become a driving force that keeps us returning back to our narcissistic family for a fix of validation. Gradually reduce your reliance on approval from your family or the narcissistic network, which extends to individuals like the flying monkeys, sent to create chaos. Narcissists often dispatch family members or associates to disrupt the lives of those attempting to make positive changes or become healthier. Narcissistic parents often leave their adult children with skewed views of relationships. Relearn the dynamics of healthy connections by surrounding yourself with supportive and nurturing individuals. Cultivate relationships built on mutual respect, empathy, and reciprocity. Healthy connections provide the foundation for positive emotional growth and support. Focus on building self-approval, self-love, and self-care. Additionally, seek positive reinforcement from your healthy support group, individuals who don't demand anything from you, and don't expect blind obedience or enmeshed loyalty like a narcissist might. These supportive individuals won't subject you to abuse if you make a mistake or fall short, unlike the way unhealthy families often would. Narcissistic parents often blur boundaries, treating their children as extensions of themselves rather than individuals with unique identities. Reclaim your power by establishing clear and firm boundaries. This may involve limiting contact, both emotionally and physically, and recognizing that your needs and desires are valid and separate from those of your parents. Narcissistic parents often mold their children to fit their expectations. Reclaim your authenticity by rediscovering and embracing your true self. Identify your passions, values, and beliefs independent of external influences. This process of self-discovery allows you to break free from the role assigned to you and live a life aligned with your genuine desires. Now is the moment to assert yourself. As we assess our lives and the individuals within them, we recognize the toxic patterns. We become aware of our past approaches and understand that there are more effective ways of handling certain aspects. Persisting with the same actions and expecting different outcomes is not beneficial and will lead to disappointment. It's crucial to take proactive steps, acknowledge the presence of toxicity, and prioritize our well-being by learning from the situation. In any relationship, it's crucial to take charge of your own life, being the leader rather than conforming to others' expectations. Often, we find ourselves waiting for someone else to initiate a change, hoping they'll recognize our worth while we remain in a state of uncertainty, believing that the right words can awaken someone from their narcissistic behaviors, bringing harmony to our world. However, the only control we have is over ourselves, to refrain from reacting and to tend to our own feelings and emotions. While we can serve as an example for others, it's crucial not to wait for them to change. Instead, we should focus on making positive changes within ourselves and letting go of whatever hinders our progress. The journey to empowerment may benefit from the guidance of mental health professionals experienced in narcissistic abuse. Therapists can provide tools and coping strategies tailored to your specific situation, offering valuable insights and support as you navigate the complexities of healing. Reclaiming power as an adult child of narcissistic parents is a courageous journey, marked by self-discovery, healing, and resilience. By acknowledging the impact of narcissistic parenting, setting boundaries, cultivating self-compassion, embracing authenticity, fostering healthy relationships, and seeking professional guidance, you can break free from the chains of manipulation and step into the light of empowerment. Remember, the power to transform your narrative lies within, waiting to be embraced and nurtured. So, I hope this helps you. If it has, please consider sharing and subscribing to my channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Always feel free to share your experiences in the comment section below. I express my gratitude to everyone for tuning in and watching. Let us help spread the awareness and lead healthier and fulfilling lives.